Hi guys, Pastor Jordan here. I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to catch up real quickly with you, and as I'm out here in my backyard, the rain is just beginning to come, and it reminded me of a story of something that happened to me and my family that is something that kind of was experienced by the disciples as Jesus was with them back a long, long time ago. But the two things are really important, and I think there's a lesson that we can learn from that as we go through this time right now, being at home. In the last week, my family and I decided that we were going to go out and we were going to do something a little bit different. We took a drive all the way out to Hope, taking a road that we had never taken before. We drove down Highway 7, which goes through Maple Ridge and then Mission, past Harrison Hot Springs, and then out to Hope. And it's beautiful. It was something that I'd never driven down before, and so I really enjoyed it. But while we were driving out there, it was a rainy day. So we expected there to be rain and some puddles and things like that, and that's what we had. When we got out to Hope, we had a nice lunch, our kids jumped in some puddles and completely soaked themselves, and then we decided to drive home. As we were driving home, the weather that was rainy became cloudy and the rain stopped, and then all of a sudden we could see a storm starting to build up in front of us. And so as we were driving, the storm hit us with hail and rain and fast winds, and because it was so fast and because it was so loud, my 2-year-old son in the back seat began to cry. Levi got upset because this was a storm that he'd never experienced before, and he was afraid. Now my wife, who was in the passenger seat, she turned around and she gave Levi her hand. When she gave Levi her hand, he was comforted. He was still afraid. He was still experiencing something that he had never experienced before, but when Serena grabbed his hand, things changed for him. And as we were driving, that storm broke, and just like in a movie, the clouds separated and the sun came out, and it was absolutely gorgeous for the rest of our drive home. But that story reminds me of something that happened to Jesus and his disciples. Jesus asked his disciples to get into a boat about 7 o'clock at night, and then row over to the other side of the lake. Now, as they were rowing, a storm came up and started to overwhelm them. Some of these disciples of Jesus had been fishermen for years and years, and they've experienced rough seas and winds and rains, but there was something different, and they became afraid. But they called out to Jesus, and Jesus, who somehow was sleeping in a storm, woke up and stopped the storm with his words. That they were able to see the power of God in that storm, and God comforted them. Now, in the moment that Levi was afraid, he got comfort from Serena. Those disciples, when they were afraid, they got comfort from Jesus. And in the time that we are in, we can reach out to God and ask God to comfort us and give us strength and courage in the times that we face right now. Because, of course, there's things that we've never experienced before. And we can become overwhelmed and we can become afraid. Now, Jesus promises that he would never leave us nor forsake us. And if that's true, it means that we can ask him to help us. And when we do, he promises to answer our requests and our prayers. So I want to pray with you. I want to pray for myself, and pray for you. And I want to pray that God would comfort us and give us a sense of peace in the times of storm where we're experiencing things that we never have before. So if you could just maybe bow your heads, close your eyes, and just pray with me for the next couple of moments. Heavenly Father, I thank you for your comfort and your peace and the courage that comes with having you with us. And Lord, as we go through this storm, I'm glad that you've promised to never leave us nor forsake us, and that you're with us in that boat. I pray that we would call out to you when we feel afraid, and that we would trust in you. And that as we do that, we would sense you giving us peace and that comfort and that strength and courage. And so I pray this in your mighty name. Amen. So again, I hope you guys are doing well. Please, if you can write me an email, send me a text message, somehow get a hold of me and just tell me how you're doing and how you're coping with the time that we are in now. God bless you, and I really hope to see you soon. Bye now.